welcome back to our final episode of From Combing to Closet. In today's episode, we are going to go into yarn and garments, and so that's the whole reason that we wanted to bring you this awesome series. Again, from combing to closet, from combing our musk oxen to your closet, and so we're going to go into a little bit more depth of what our qiviut yarn is and what our garments are that we make with it.
Everybody, we are now at our final episode here, and today we want to talk about the yarn and the garments. So we've herded the animals, we've combed the fiber off, and we've talked a little about our processing, and now we're down to this final stage, our yarn and our products that we make from all this. I want to bring this out. This was something that one of our knitters had done for us, and this was, I talked at one point about the seed drop and the coarse crazy stuff, and one of our knitters came up with this great idea. This hangs over the outside of an outdoor spigot, and it's got a little bar of soap in there, so you can turn it on and you've got a little abrasive thing. It's just a fun way to use the qiviut, something that otherwise might have been just kind of in the waste department, but just a clever fun thing that we can do. And so I just wanted to show you that one little seed drop project that someone had done. And then we get into, as we move down the line, we talked about our bee drops. And so the bee drops, if you recall, still had some guard hair in it. It also had a lot of qiviut and some secondary fibers. So this is what we're calling our bullpen blend. And this one was hand painted, so you got this really nice variation as you go through. It's definitely a coarser yarn. This is not something that you're gonna put your hands on and feel like you've got that real trademark qiviut feel to it, but it does have a lot of qiviut. You are definitely going to be able to find some guard hair in there. But this has been a yarn that our knitters have had a really fun time just playing around with. They've done some neat projects I mentioned outside when we were talking about it, like the outside of a hat where they might enjoy the texture of this. It's just got a fun texture. It's really, a lot more to it. And then just do like the inside, the headband would be out of 100% or even one of the other blends. So this is our bullpen blend, and this is just what it looks like in its natural state before it got painted. And we had a lot of different hand painted colors that came in. So moving from there, we came up into our herder's blend. We have quite a few different blends of yarn that we've done over the years, and there's a lot of reasons for that, for just whatever, trying different things, and also with just our spinner has had some access to different fibers, and so we're trying to get to a point now where, just for the sake of consistency, our herder's blend at this point is all done with bamboo. This herder's blend is 80% qiviut and 20% bamboo. We've been using the bamboo to bring in a fiber that's not an animal fiber, but it's got a lot of the similar attributes of qiviut. It's a smooth fiber, it's very fine, it's very soft. It's also very strong, but it's a longer fiber, so it allows us to use those. We talked about the shorter fibers coming off the drops on the A side, and so super soft, super nice fiber, stronger. Most of the patterns that are available out there are based on an ounce of qiviut that's approximately 200 yards long. And the spinner is always that's our goal with all of this. Sometimes there's challenges with the fiber for whatever reason, and it varies, but we try to get this lace weight yarn. So in this case, this is a little heavier, and this one clocked in at, I think, around 115 yards for an ounce. So a little bit coarser fiber, or thicker yarn, I guess I could say, but a nice yarn. We do find that we talked about sort of the craft side of spinning, and there will be sometimes some little inconsistencies that pop up, and it's kind of the price you pay for calling it more of a craft spin than some mass-produced Walmart blend. But yeah, you see you can find some guard hair in here still every now and then, but really a nice blend for the yarn. And that's the herder's blend. I just grabbed a couple of different colors. We also have, I think, some reds and purples. The yarn always takes this really nice, rich, natural color, is when you start with something that's rather this brown or almost gray, instead of like a white, you don't end up with those really primary colors coming out. It's like when you dye your brown Easter eggs versus your white ones. So the color is a really fun natural color. And then finally, we get into our 100%. And these are all the 100% qiviut yarns. Again, I grabbed just a few colors to show you kind of some of the variety. These are just based on small batch dye lots. So if you got a bigger project that you know you're going to want a few ounces to do it, make sure you buy them at the same time, because we had some interesting yarns come back. This was kind of the difference we had this year with the purple. You can see they turned out to be quite different, which two really nice purples, but if you're starting a project in this purple and you turn to this, so please talk to us before you, if you know you're going to possibly need something bigger, we'll make sure to get you the same. We do mark the lots, so we should be able to go back, but when things are sold out, because it's such a small batch, they do sell out. So again, here's our natural in the 100%, and once again, you can see this is got a little bit of variety. There are going to be, and this is kind of the price you pay. Sometimes you'll see a little thicker areas in there and some little kind of crafty imperfections, and that's one of the trade-offs with the 100% is you just don't have the really long fibers that allow for some other yarns to be really, really thin and really strong. So we're trying to always find that really sweet spot in the middle between, if we overspin, then you end up losing some of the luster, and if you underspin, you lose strength. So it's trying to find a nice sweet spot. And this is a 2-ply yarn. We saw the yarn coming out of this spinner, and that was making just one strand like that. And then in order to bring strength and to get the yarn to the size we want, then this is the 2nd ply. So 2-ply is the plan and the goal. You can see as it starts to, you can kind of unravel and just kind of see that yarn as it is, and without the spin to it. And then even as you start, you can, it's not that easy to pull apart, but pull the spin out, you pull all the strength out of it. So, and then the ply just gives it more strength. So that's a little walk through our yarns. Please don't ever be shy about giving us a call and asking more questions and finding out what's going to be right for your project. Okay, we've made it through our yarns, and now we're going to see kind of where those yarns can end up in a finished product. This is a hat. This is made from 100% qiviut yarn. These mittens were hand knit by one of our volunteers, and this is made with the ball pen blend. Again, it's a little coarser, but this is going to be a lot more resistant to abrasion for something like a mitten. We're really not going to tell you to go out and work on the garden with these, but boy, you're going to throw these on when you go for a ride in the car in the winter. Perfect stuff. There's general use. This little half mitt, and I'm not going to do it because I got big hands, but it's a little half mitt. These are made of a blend. This is against an 80-20 blend. It's got a nice ribbing, so it gets you a nice little stretchiness in there. These are really nice because they give you so much warmth in your wrist and in your hand, but where the abrasion might really occur in your fingertips is going to be, you're going to be able to get away from that a little bit. So that's where the half mitts are really nice for the warmth and comfort. Here's 3 different hats. This is really kind of a fun thing. So this one's just an 80-20 blend, beautiful little hat. It's got a nice little ribbed bottom, help keep it into shape. These two, this one has the bullpen blend, again on the top, kind of talked about this earlier, with the herder's blend. So they're real soft, kind of around your ears on your forehead, but a little harder. You can see the texture that comes out with that. And then this one's the 80% qiviut, 20% blend as well. So just some different varieties. Underneath these is what we sell most commonly. These are called noshocks or smoke rings. You might call it a cowl or a buff. but they're gonna fit around your neck. Danny's got one on here. So a couple different ways you can enjoy one. Throw it around your neck. It's kind of a scarf that's not gonna fall off ever. And it's a little tight little circle. You can also bring it up over the back of your head. So you've got it covering your ears a little bit, even across your mouth if you want a little bit more warmth in there. And 100% this on your body, just so super cozy. And again, the people who visit the farm, this is by far what we see that people are most commonly buying. It's such a trademark qiviut garment. So natural, again, people who are enjoying qiviut, this is just that quintessential. People look at it and you know that's qiviut. It's nothing looks like it. It's just such a rich color and just tons of natural texture. This one is in our Alaska range. You can kind of see the little mountains that come through there. So 100% natural. These are all individually made and by our knitters, and so there's going to be some difference in how they get blocked and the different pattern and how they're going to. Some of them have a little bit, like the one that Danny was wearing, has a panel that's solid in there, so you can see this is a little lace pattern. It's going to have this solid panel, so it's going to take up a little bit more yarn and be perhaps a little smaller than some of the really open lace patterns. Here's our red. This one was our fireweed pattern. Super pretty. The most favored treat of muskox everywhere. You can see the little fireweed stalk that comes up through there. Really nice open lacy pattern. People ask all the time if the lace is going to be less warm, and the reality is by the time you bunch it up around your neck, it's pretty much all about the same. They all have the same amount of yarn in them, so you're not going to lose heat through the holes in the lace. That just gives you a little difference, something different to look at. This one was made by one of our knitters. This pattern was developed, and this is the muskox pattern. Kind of hard to see, but you can see there's kind of a head, and the horns come down and up. And if you want to look at the pattern, we had it actually stamped into the front of our little counter here as we got our new building opened up this last year. Kind of gives you a really good chance to see that pattern. That's a super fun pattern that we do. This is our patchwork. And that's just a nice open lacy pattern, super consistent. You can also see kind of the variegated colors that comes from that small batch dyeing, and depending on how it goes into the dye pot and how the skein is tied off before it goes in, gives you an idea of that. And then we got this really pretty black one. This has got some, again, that kind of variegation. You can see it's almost kind of presents as stripes. And this is, again, that Alaska range that came through. A few years ago, we did so much of this lacy pattern was super pretty, and wanted to find something for kind of that person who's really looking for the more just super practical and maybe not as much of the pretty fashion. This was our Alaska collection that we did. So it's just a solid pattern. It's going to fit a little closer to your neck, so you don't have, you can cover it up a little bit better. You're not going to have it bunched up in any places. They're not going to be long enough to go over the top of your head, but the idea is if you're doing some winter mountaineering or skiing or snow machining, this was something that would be a fit underneath the coat, have less chance of snagging it in a zipper, something like that. These are all 100% and made with a couple different yarns, so that's what got this pattern done, this like the blue. So we used I believe with these it was 2 strands of the natural with the 1 strand of blue that went into it, and these were all a little bit different to achieve our goals, but ended up with a fun noshok that was certainly appeals to a certain person who's not desiring as much fashion as maybe some function. Still beautiful garments. So that's kind of a quick little run through on what we have for the garments and the yarn and what we can do with all this stuff. Thanks for watching.
for coming along with us on this journey from combing to closet. I just wanted to remind everybody that this is part of a 4-part series. This was the final episode. If you're interested and have not seen the other episodes yet, you can find all 4 on Facebook, Instagram, and on our YouTube channel.
And as we probably said a little bit before, we are a nonprofit organization, and we have had a blast bringing you videos like this one. And if you'd like to see videos like this continue, we wouldn't mind if you take a look at our donate link that you can see above us in the description. Thank you guys so much for tuning in.
Thanks, everyone.